mat, and we really want to focus today on our lower back, on the hips, just kind of keeping all of that happy and safe. We're gonna make our feet a little wider than our hips and let our thighs rest on each other. And then we can bring our hands to the belly and just arrive, right? So yeah, you're a little late. So if you were flustered, especially the stupid computer stuff, it makes you all like, right? So we let go of all of that. And we just get here. So arrive on your mat and tune into your breath. Notice what it's like to breathe here in this position today. Nice long spine, feet on the mat, thighs resting on each other. And let that breath, let it fill you up like there's a balloon inside your torso and it's filling up. It's lifting and lowering your hands. It's moving into the side body. It's even moving into the back body. So as you continue with those breaths, just take a moment to notice how your physical body feels as well. Notice any areas that might need special attention today. Notice if there's any tension that we're holding on to right now. And see what you can do to soften that. And then just come back to the breath. So we're going to rest here for about, let's say about 4 minutes, just resting here. Coming into this place, this time, mind and body together. Rest here, and I'll tell you when it's time to move again. Now we'll Just take a moment to set an intention for this practice. You can stack your hands at your heart and just set whatever intention is important to you today. And then we'll release those hands back down alongside the body. We're going to heel toe those feet a little closer together. So now the shins are parallel, the thighs are parallel, and we can one at a time bring those knees into the body and just very gently rock side to side. Not a big movement, just a little one, letting that lower back get a little massage here as we go from one side to the other. And then just come back to center. We'll put the left foot down on the ground. We're going to hug in the right knee. Just give it a big old hug. Take a breath or two. You can hug behind the thigh. You can hug on top of the shin, whatever it takes here, whatever feels right. And then just using your right hand, we're going to open the right knee out to the right and then just bring it in. So it doesn't have to be big. This isn't like full range of motion. And as we're doing that opening and closing, we may notice the left hip moving, the left knee and thigh moving, whatever it is, it's okay. We're all connected here. So we're just kind of exploring this right side, what's going on in the right hip socket, just noticing those things. And then if it feels good, you can make tiny circles with that knee. So it doesn't have to be your full range of motion, just some circles here. Notice how it feels. It might feel great. If it doesn't feel great, then, reconsider, maybe just go out and back again. But if you are making some nice slow circles, you may want to pause and take those circles in the other direction. And then when we've evened those things out, just come back to stillness again with that right knee in, left foot on the ground. And we're going to put our left hand on top of the right knee, right hand on top of that. So both hands are stacked on top of that right knee. Our arms are straight. We take an inhale here. And as we exhale, we bring that knee in, elbows bend, that belly button goes back, knee comes in. Inhale, extend. The arms straighten. And as we exhale, we're going to bend the knee and we're going to turn the head to the left, looking to the left. Nose goes to the left. Inhale, the arms lengthen. Knee goes away, nose goes back to center. Exhale, knee comes into the body, nose turns to the left. So let's do about 3 more like this. Letting the head move as that thigh comes in. And we might decide to push a little bit into the left foot as we're doing this. Notice how it changes the experience. And if it feels good, you can do another one like that. If it doesn't feel good, I wouldn't do it again. Then just pause. That knee is away from you, the arms are straight, the nose is neutral. And we'll release that foot to the floor, extend your right leg long, let your toes flop open, extend your left leg long, let your toes flop open. You can let the arms be alongside the body, palms up. Notice how things feel. Notice what's going on in that right hip. How does it feel now? And then we'll bend both knees. We'll put both feet back onto the floor. We'll bring in the left knee We'll hug it in either on top of the shin or underneath the thigh. Take a breath or two here. Try pushing into the right foot. What happens to the lower back? Notice how that affects it. And then we'll bring the left knee into the left hand and just do those little opens and closes. So take it out to the side, bring it back. Doesn't have to be a big motion. And you may notice that right knee, right hip and thigh kind of move and sway with it. That's okay. And then we have that choice, that option to make small circles with the knee, making those circles into the hip socket. They don't have to be big. This isn't the whole range of motion, just some movement. And then we make sure we go in the other direction as well. And then just pause. We'll bring the right hand to the top of the left knee, left hand on top of that, arms are long. We take the inhale here. As we exhale, we bend the elbows, knee comes in. And then inhale, extend the arms away, knee goes away. Then we add in that turn the nose to the right as the knee comes. Slow movements, no hurry. You might want to try pushing into the right foot, noticing how that affects this movement. And we'll try one or two more, whatever feels right to you. And then release the left foot back down to the ground and extend the left leg long, let the toes flop open. Extend right leg long, let the toes flop open. Let the arms be alongside the body, palms up. A great opportunity to turn inward, that interoceptive pause, noticing how the body feels. And then we'll bend the knees, put the feet back onto the mat. And this time we'll bring the knees, both knees in, one hand on top of each knee. And just, try bringing one knee in and the other. Notice what happens, right? This little rock side to side as we do that, one knee and then the other. Or next option is what happens when we hug the knees together, thighs are together, shins are together, we can rock side to side. Where's that effort coming from? And then it might be fun to bring the soles of the feet together, hands come to the ankles or the feet, knees wide. Little different experience. You could separate the feet, send the soles of the feet to the ceiling like a little happy baby. All interesting things, just noticing how they affect the lower back. And then we'll return to stillness. We'll put the feet back onto the mat, a few inches apart. Let the arms be palms up like a soft W by your side, and a real small side-to-side sway with the feet, with the knees. So just a few inches. This isn't a big twist. We won't even call it a twist. It's a sway. Knees go one way, come back, and then knees go the other way. And then make your way back to stillness, back to the center. Let's bring those feet all the way together if they're separate. And we're going to make our way to one side or the other. So just come to one side. You can rest your head on your arm, if that feels okay. You could grab a blanket, a pillow, whatever you want, so that you can rest on your side, because we're going to move the motion now into the shoulder and arm. So find a comfortable side lying posture. I'm going to bring my knees in a little bit more because that feels better to me. And we're going to take that top arm, whichever one it is fine. We're going to reach it to the ceiling and just make some small turning motions like we're turning a doorknob. And you can even do that with your hand. Just some doorknob turning motions, letting it be the entire arm, not just the wrist, not just the forearm, but all the way up into the shoulder. And then stop turning the doorknob. And imagine you have a crayon, a magic marker, whatever, a big piece of chalk, I don't know, and make tiny circles on your ceiling. Tiny circles on your ceiling. And then slowly let those circles get a little bit bigger and a little bit bigger. Working with that range of motion in the shoulder now, being kind to the shoulder. If we need to keep the elbow soft, we keep it soft. And however big that shoulder circle is right now, we will pause and go the other way. So we're not working with the full range of motion. We're just kind of working within what feels okay for us today. And you may notice that the rest of the body moves along with that arm, and that's okay. That's what we're proving here. Everything's connected. Make those circles a little bit tinier, a little bit tinier, a little bit tinier. And we're drawing on the ceiling again. And pause. Gently float that arm down, let it rest on your hip. Notice how things feel in that shoulder. And we'll make our way back to the back. So come on back to your back, put your feet back on the mat. And roll to the other side. So you just roll to the other side. I'm going to sit up and switch sides so that I can still talk to the camera. But coming to your other side, resting your head on your arm like a pillow. Knees are brought in like, fetal position. Once we've gotten here and we're comfortable, we take that arm that's on top up to the ceiling. And we imagine that we're opening and closing that doorknob. The entire arm is working. Then pause. Switch to that magic marker, that crayon, that piece of chalk, and start to draw small circles on the ceiling. Slowly let those circles get a little bit bigger and a little bit bigger. Notice movement throughout the rest of the body, whether it's the hips or the upper body. It's kind of softening into the movement. And then we'll pause and let those circles take us in the other direction. Slowly making them smaller and smaller until we're just drawing circles on that ceiling again. And then very gently release that arm back to rest on your hip. Notice sensations in the shoulders. And make your way back to your back. So go ahead, back to your back. Flip around because I prefer to be on this side of my mat. So come on back to your back and notice how things feel. Now we're going to grab our strap, and we also want to keep that block close by. So grab your strap, let your block be close by. Our feet are on the mat, knees are bent, feet are on the mat. We're going to take that strap, we're going to put it over the ball of the right foot. So just underneath the toes, one strap end in each arm. Arms are straight. So I've reached my arms up, my shoulders are still on the mat, my head is on the mat. Almost like my leg is kind of resting in this strap and my arms have it. And then we're going to soften into the knees and make gentle pulses to the ceiling. Gentle pulses to the ceiling. So moving into a little bit of a hamstring stretch here. And if the ceiling is not the direction in which you're making these gentle pulses, that's perfectly wonderful and fine. Notice where your lower back wants that leg to be. It might be more towards the intersection of wall and ceiling. Who knows where it might be? So just see where this is. And then pause. No more pulses. Just rest here. See where the leg feels comfortable. It might be a little away from you, might be coming towards you. We're just exploring, and then be still again. Let the leg rest. We want a stretch, but not a strain. And then we'll move back to those tiny pulses again, tiny pulses. And then just pause again in stillness. Notice how it feels. And we're going to switch both strap ends into our left hand now. Both strap ends come into the left hand. We're going to take that foot, we're going to cross it. If it's at 12 o'clock right now, we're going to take it to about 11 o'clock, bringing the toes towards the left shoulder. Right hand can rest down on the earth. Right hand can rest with that thumb in the crease between the right hip and torso. So that now we've moved that stretch to the outer right hip and thigh. If you don't feel sensation, you just shorten the strap a little bit. If it's way too intense, and this is an intense stretch, give yourself more strap. But just breathe here, noticing how this feels. Notice where the lower back is on the floor in this stretch. What happens when you push into the left foot? And then we'll come back to center with that leg. Switch both strap ends now into the right hand. Right hand has both strap ends. The strap is on the right foot, left knee is bent, left foot is on the floor. And we're going to open that leg now out to the side. So right leg goes out to the right, moving the stretch to the inner thigh. As I open my right leg out to the right, I might open my left knee out to the left just to give me a little balance here. I can bend my right elbow, let the elbow rest on the earth. If I wanted to, I could give that strap all the length I needed and rest my leg on the floor. So we have a lot of options here, doing what feels best for our backs today. And then we'll take an inhale. As we exhale, we bring that belly button back to the spine, and then inhale, soften into the knee. Let's take it back to center. So really trying to bring it back to center safely. We bend the right knee, cross the right ankle over the left thigh, put that strap off to the side for a little bit, so not too far away. But we're taking it into this sleeping pigeon now. Pushing that right thigh bone away from you with just the muscles of the thigh. We don't use our hands here. We keep the right foot flexed and active. And let's rest here. We're going to give it a good 30 seconds to just be here. Coming back to the slow and even breaths. Now we'll uncross that right leg, put right foot on the floor, grab your block. We've got both feet bent and both knees bent, feet are on the floor. We have our block. We're going to push into our feet, lift up the hips, slide that block underneath the sacrum, lowest height. So this should feel good. If it doesn't feel good, we don't need to go there. The block is underneath that flat bone in the base of my spine. So it's underneath below the waistband of my pants. My back is resting here comfortably. This is a little supported back bend right here. But we'd like to move to the front of this right thigh if we can. So just noticing how you feel, evaluating, and then deciding whether or not to move forward. We might decide to extend that right leg long, bringing the heel to the mat. So now that stretch moves to the front of the right hip and thigh. Pause here, notice sensation, notice how it feels if the lower back still safe. If everything's okay, you can bring in that left knee a little bit. You can hug it in, you can grab your strap and just kind of guide it in. It may intensify that stretch on the front of the right thigh. So you decide where you want to be here. If not here, that foot stays down, left foot stays down, we still breathe. About another 30 seconds here. And then we'll bend our knee, bend the right leg, put the right foot back onto the earth. Push into the feet, lift up the hips, slide that block out and very gently, very slowly. Lower those hips back down. Yes, extend the right leg long, let the toes fluff open. Extend the left leg long, let the toes fluff open. Let the arms be alongside the body, palms are up. And we're going to rest here for about 3 minutes. Just bringing our awareness to the difference between left and right hips. Letting each exhale allow you to sink a little bit deeper into the mat. From here, we'll begin to bend first the right knee, put the foot down, and then the left knee and put the foot down onto the mat. We'll grab that strap and we'll bring the left knee in, putting that strap over the sole of the left foot, just below the toes. One strap end in each hand, leg reaching up and away. So my knee is very soft. I don't know if you can see the bend here, but it's a pretty soft knee. The stretch is to the back of that left leg, left hamstring. One strap end in each hand, and we might try some tiny, tiny pulses. Notice where your lower back is. Just notice sensations in the back of that left hamstring. And then be still, but let the leg rest here in the strap. What happens when you push into the right foot? And then come back to those tiny pulses. And come back to stillness again. Being aware of what that hamstring has to share with you today. Noticing how that might change when you push into the right foot. And then switch both strap ends into that right hand, both strap ends into right hand. The leg is at 12 o'clock, and we want to take that leg across to maybe 1 o'clock, but think about those toes coming over to the right shoulder. Notice that stretch moving from the hamstring to the outer left hip and thigh. Breathe, breathe, breathe. And then we'll return that leg to 12 o'clock. 12 o'clock. Strap ends go into left hand now, both strap ends in left hand. And we're going to take that leg out to the left. You can bend the left elbow, let the elbow rest on the earth. You can let that leg rest on something. I am going to hit the wall here. So that's as far as I'm going to go. You might open right knee out to the right to help with balance. Stretch moves to the inner left thigh, inner left thigh. Okay, now as we come back to center, let's be very mindful. So we take the inhale to prepare. We exhale, we bring that belly button back to the spine, soften into the knee. And then as we inhale, we bring that leg back to 12 o'clock, cross that ankle over the right knee, coming into our sleeping pigeon, put the strap off to the side. Sleeping pigeon. Left thigh is pushing away from you, trying to reach that wall away from you. Only the muscles of the left thigh are working here, not your hands. Just let them rest wherever they want to rest. You may notice a difference between the sides when we do this kind of thigh stretch, this sleeping pigeon. And then we'll uncross that foot, put it back onto the floor, both knees bent, both feet on the ground. We grab our blocks. Push the feet into the ground, lift up the hips, think like an elevator lifting up so that you can slide that block on its lowest level underneath the sacrum. Find that support here should feel okay. Make the adjustments if it doesn't, or return to the floor. If we're happy here, we can extend the left leg long. Heel comes to the mat. The stretch moves then to that, right where that hip flexor is. Just opening us up a little bit on the front of that left hip. Option to bring in the left knee if that changes, might change the way it feels. Don't have to, it's just optional. I'm gonna come out of it, just keep talking, but rest there with that leg extended. Breathing there, noticing sensation. And then we'll bend the knee. We'll release the right foot back down. We'll bend the left leg, put the left foot back on the mat. So 2 feet on the mat, knees are bent. Spine is supported by that block, but we're gonna lift up the hips, remove the block, lower the hips back down. Extend left leg long, extend right leg long, toes flop open. Notice how things feel now. We'll bend both knees in. We're gonna roll to one side. We're gonna make our way up to seated just for a moment. I just think that we should sit up for a few moments during this class. Not long, don't panic. Okay, Mir, glad you're up. How's it feel? You okay?
Good, good. Nina.
Okay, so for our Shavasana, 2 choices. Choice number 1 is gonna be legs up your wall. Or choice number 2 is gonna be to build that, what do you call it?
Ramp.
Stonehenge. No, Stonehenge. You could do a ramp if you wanted to too. I don't care. What do you feel like?
Legs up the wall.
That's what I was feeling like too. So just as a reminder, you want your bum as close to the wall as you can get it. Bum close to the wall. Yeah, and then once you're there, legs go up. Oh my goodness. I did this already once this morning. There's nothing better. So this is where we want to be. I'm going to move away from here just so I can keep track of time, but let the legs go up the wall. Let your body rest into the earth. Let the arms be away from the body, palms are up. Let the jaw soften. Let the skin around the eyes soften. Allow your breath to come naturally. And rest. So I'm keeping track of time. I'll let you know when it's time to move again. Just be here now. without moving. Just bring your awareness back to that place and begin to deepen your breath. And then bring a little bit of movement into the head and neck. And then let that head and neck be still and bring motion into fingers and wrists. If you want to wiggle your toes a little bit up top, that would be nice as well. And then from the legs up the wall, we bend the knees, we bring them in one last time. We make our way onto our right side, just kind of resting our head there for a moment. You can recall your intention. Then come away from the wall and make your way up to a comfortable seat. So how do we feel, Miss Mary?
Good, Nina. Thank you. Great class.
Well, good. Thank you so much.